Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 22nd. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, looks good here. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Link sent out. All right, perfect. As people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. Going down to the 8-hour time frame. Going down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And looks like we're good to go. All right, guys, so looking at liquidity over here, I've marked up liquidity from the daily down to the 10-minute. Closest level of liquidity above is going to be at 39,945. This looks like it might get hit here pre-market. The lower level below is going to be at 39,903. So there goes the two levels of liquidity closest to current price. Going over to our clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30, mark up 8 o'clock. Go on the 4-hour time frame, identify structure up here. Going down to the 1-hour. I'll leave that zone on. All right, so it looks like we're good to go. Back to the 1 minute over here. So there's no nearby structure here. I'll mark up structure as we get closer to it, but the upper levels and lower levels are marked up on the 4-hour and 1-hour time frames. Going over here to our clean chart, I think we had one news event today at 4 o'clock. We have another one at 7 o'clock and 7:30. So 4, 7, 7:30. So we had one over here at 4 o'clock, low impact news, which was right there. Then we have some high impact news at 7, low impact news at 7:30. All right, perfect. So with that said, this is pretty much what the market's looking like right now. If you guys are just joining in, I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is going to be at 39,945. Closest level below is going to be at 39,903. Looking over here on our main chart, we had one news event over here at 4 o'clock. It was a low impact news event for purchase index. Pretty much neutral news. There wasn't really much there that affected the market too much. At 7 o'clock, we have existing home sales month over month and existing home sales for April. So this is going to be pretty much the big news for today. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. We have FOMC minutes later today at 11. It's not going to affect us because that's going to happen later today. But that's those are pretty much the big ticket items for today. At 7 o'clock and at 7:30 is the gas stock change. That's just the news that happens every Wednesday, so it's not super important. But we're gonna be paying attention to it regardless. Looking at the ATR here pre-market, it's pretty low at 5 ATR. So we'll probably see this pick up, maybe double. So it's probably gonna go up to like 12, 10 to 12. And then if it picks up higher, it'll go up to 15, which is normal ATR. But the ATR has been pretty slow for the past couple months, which is a little unusual for the spring market, but that's just how the market is this year. So, all right, guys, looks like we are good to go. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the trend reader. Let me just take it off, put it back on. Trading views been kind of weird lately. I don't know. They've been kind of it's been a little laggy for some reason. Yeah, it's not showing up on mine either, guys. I'll have to come back and take a look at that a little later. I don't know what's going on with that, but that's kind of been the case with some of the indicators lately. They've been, or trading views kind of just been laggy for that for the most part. Like sometimes indicators don't even show up on the chart, which is kind of weird. Sometimes they show on different charts, sometimes they don't. Let me see. See, like a trend meter shows over here for whatever reason, it's just not showing up over here. Let me just refresh it real quick. And let's go over here to the trend meter. Yeah, I don't know what's up with this one. For whatever reason, it's not coming up on my main chart. I'll try to fix that a little later, but you guys can see over here the trend meter does show on my other charts. There's nothing wrong with the indicator. It's just trading view. I don't know what's up with trading view. It's been doing this for a couple of days now, where some of the charts just don't show up. All right, guys. So market is now open. Let me go and mark opening price right here. It's that big green candle. All right, so we have a bullish trend right here. The PRV could be setting up, so you can see price is pushing up from where it's currently at. It has that rejection down below, or I take that back. Price just swung back down below it, so there's no longer a rejection there. We're just gonna wait for the market to stabilize a little bit. Kind of the same thing as what's been happening all week. Price has kind of just been whipsawing on open, goes into consolidation, breaks out into another zone, then goes into consolidation. Same, pretty much every day. Right. So it's in the consolidation range right here. So once it breaks out of this range, we'll be able to identify, further direction. We just don't have that yet. So we do have a lower low right here, pre-market. I'll mark it up later once we have a new lower low. I don't like to typically mark up the pre-market moves unless they've been like sufficiently established. Right now, they're not really established. As you can see, price is just going back and forth between the lower sessions right here and the upper sessions right here. So until we get some direction, I'm not really going to mark any of that stuff up. It's kind of pointless right now. And we will, go from there. I'll check the trend meter one more time, guys. Just give me 1 second. Refresh. You guys can see trading view takes forever to load. So if you look over here, a lot of these indicators are still loading up. It looks like it's a trading view issue. It's just their system is just laggy right now. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's only the trend meter. Everything else is working. It's just really laggy. So if you try to refresh your screen, you'll see that it kind of has the bubblies for like a couple of seconds. It's supposed to come up right away, but for whatever reason, TradingView is just laggy today. But the trend meter is working on my other time frames. If we really need to look at the trend meter, we'll pull up the other charts. But for the most part, it's not really necessary. It's just a secondary confluence. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, Nick said he's been on since 4:30, hasn't been working for him. So it's I don't know what else to do to fix it because the other ones are working. It's weird that it's just my main chart. All right, so we still have the bullish trend over here. If price comes back down and rejects off the pivots, we might have a possibility of opportunity here to set up for a um, PRB entry. So we don't have the PRB there yet, but you can see right here, if price pushes down any further and rejects off the pivot like it's doing right now, it will start off the setup for the PRB. So this is the first step of the PRB here if this candle does close, which it's going to, of course. All right, so there goes the first step for the PRB right there. We had the wick rejection. The next step is going to be the space consolidation candle. So if we get another candle here which pushes sideways and doesn't touch the pivots here, that's going to be the second step for the PRB, if anybody is looking to take that. Albert is asking, has anyone asked for a payout lately from Apex? Mine was pending and now it's under review. I haven't heard of anybody having that issue, Albert. I had somebody, but it was because he was doing like dollar cost averaging. The guy that I was talking about before, from Discord, he had the same issue, but he was doing the stuff that there's a rule for now. So he was dollar cost averaging into losers. Not sure if you were doing that prior or if your risk reward was like too wide. I don't think yours is because I've seen your trades and you take the bigger trades, like the bigger RRs. So the RR shouldn't be an issue. It might be the dollar cost averaging if you're entering into losing trades. So yeah, if anybody has any issues with requesting payouts on Apex, chime in. Albert's having an issue with some trades that are under review. What they might ask you to do, Albert, and this is what they asked the other guy to do, is to just record your trades. That they either want to see if it's you trading or it might be like your trading style. Those are two things. So they just might ask to have like a live recording of your trading to prove that it's you trading, or to see like what strategy you're doing. That might be the case. Or what they might be doing is they might be looking to copy your trades live. So that's why they want to ask to see like what your trades are like. It's just a lot of there's a lot of different reasons for it. And yeah, hopefully they'll just approve it after. Okay, so here's the PRB, guys. The PRB just came up. There was a rejection right here, space consolidation candle. This is the PRB that's currently running right now. I'm not in this position, of course. I'm just marking up for you guys. I don't like these breakout entries as much because they disregard red flags. So you can see the entry over here actually is rejecting off the sessions, which I typically don't like taking any trades that touch the sessions. That's considered a red flag for me. So for me, I wouldn't have taken this trade here personally with a PRB because there's a red flag right there. To me, that's the main reason why I don't like taking these breakouts as much, because they always go against my initial analysis of conservative trading. So the PRB is currently running right now in profit. Come back and take a look at that later. There's nothing else here. Liquidity got hit here the first level, full TP on that if anybody caught that there. So there goes the first level of liquidity right there. Nice. Nick got liquidity. CJ got liquidity. So first level liquidity right there, full TP. I mean, if you want to tighten your TP stop loss for liquidity, you probably can. You can probably do, probably wouldn't do a 10 to 10. I'd probably do 10 15. But if you want to just keep it wide, you can do it as well, just to be careful for those whipsaws. So whipsaws do happen at liquidity. What I'm looking for here personally, guys, is I'm looking for a sell signal. So I'm looking for a sell signal to come up to confirm the retracement. I'm going to look for a buy signal push back up, and then I'm going to look for the continuation there. That's what I'm going to be looking for personally. So here we are at our clean chart. We don't have a support here yet, but I'll just mark up this pre-market support just so that you guys have some type of structure here marked up. If this higher high here gets established, I'll mark this up as a resistance, and then you guys can understand where the range is currently at. Right, it's going to be somewhere around this area, but for right now, I'll leave this alone because the higher high has not been established. Once it's established, I'll leave it up there. But at this very moment, it's not established yet. So I'm looking for a sell signal here to come up. Once we get that sell signal, I'm going to look for the retracement down, and I'm going to look for the push back up. Personally, I prefer to take a buy here. Main reason is because of retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 73% short. This indicates that 73% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. Looking over here at the fundamentals. So fundamentals just updated. Breaking news is S&P slides as Wall Street awaits big NVIDIA earnings. So right here at 936, they said that it was coming down, and price actually did the opposite and shot straight up. So that's typical, right? You guys know what happens when they report on stuff like this. So you want to be careful for that stuff. And it looks like the PRB hit full TP. So if you guys caught the PRB full TP right there, and the next level of liquidity full TP as well up here. So a couple nice entries here if you guys wanted to take them. I typically don't take those entries as much because I'm looking for something very specific. And this here just keeps pushing up. Let's see, Cade's asking, why is it 72% short every day? I mean, sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, Cade. It's just, there's a lot of retail traders on the sell side. I mean, it's pretty basic logic. So the reason why it's so high is because a lot of retail traders are trying to catch the top, right? If you look at the data for so let's just go over here like the 4 hour. So if you look at the data here for US30 or YM or whatever you want to, which symbol you're looking at, see how price has been climbing for a long time? What typically happens is retail traders try to catch the top, right? So every time they catch the top, price comes down a little bit and it comes right back up to stop them out. And then they try to catch the top here, and they try to catch the top here, and then right here, you can see price looks like it's starting to turn, right? So that's why a lot of retail traders are stacking the sells. So it's been that way for like the past couple months now. It's not, I mean, you should just ask the retail traders, right? If price pushes up this high, what would you do as a basic retail trader who doesn't know what to look for, right? They try to catch the top and bottoms. They think price is overextended, and they try to drop it down. So that's the reason why it's always at 72% short, because the retail traders keep trying to stack on the top. And then what happens is the market makers push this price up, stops them out. And then what happens when they get stopped out, they enter another sell because they just keep trying to catch the top. They're trying to get lucky, right? They're trying to hit that jackpot. They want to catch the top, the very top, and then they want to ride it all the way down. Or some people try to dollar cost average in, right? Instead of buying the dip, they try to sell the top. So this number here indicates what the retail traders are doing. This is client sentiment. So whoever's trading on this broker here, IG, which is one of the biggest brokers in the world for retail traders, that's where the numbers are coming from. So, and that's why we do the opposite. We buy because we don't want to trade how everybody else is. Yeah, exactly. Drew said retail sentiment short increases since we were near all-time highs before. Yeah, every time it gets near an all-time high, the retail traders try to catch the top. And that's why it keeps, they keep trying to catch the top, like I said. Like that's just how basic trading works, right? Like when people first learn to trade, they try to catch the very top or they try to catch the very bottom. but most of the time people are wrong. And that's why a lot of people are just in that cycle where they like make profit, then they lose profit, and then they just keep going in that same cycle over and over again, or they just go in a crazy losing streak. Because I'm sure you've seen people before who try to buy the dip and price just keeps dipping, right? It's like the memes that come out. It's like when you buy the dip and it just keeps dipping and dipping and dipping. It's the same concept here. Price people keep trying to catch the top, but price keeps topping, right? It literally just keeps going higher and higher and higher. But the thing is, there's so many retail traders out there that even though people get wiped out, there's going to be more retail traders who are going to keep trying to catch the top. So people get wiped out, they deposit their funds into their account, they keep buying the top, or just keep selling the top. And it's just an ongoing process that just goes on forever and ever and ever, basically. And that's what keeps the market moving, right? It's typically retail traders who are basically just giving money to the market. And that's just the way the market works. It's the way the market's been forever. And that's why you don't want to trade like a retail trader. You want to trade the opposite, but it doesn't always work out that way. All right, so let's see what else we've got over here. We have a possible breakout V3 that is setting up, guys. We have a double body rejection up here. So if you get a sell signal with a following red candle, it's going to be a possible breakout V3. If it follows through. So there's nothing for us to take here personally. I'm looking for this. Well, I do want the sell signal to come up. I wouldn't take a breakout V3. I do want the sell signal to come up so that we can have opportunity for a continuation to the upside. The London highs right here, this red line, this lines up with the 4 hours resistance up here. So there's a confluence there with regard to structure above. So I do want the sell signal to come up, and I want it to come down a bit. Maybe back down to sessions down here, and then look for it to come right back up higher. Yeah, we got a bunch of sessions up here. So all the sessions here kind of line up with the 4 hour resistance, which is where we don't really want to be. I want to trade somewhere down here. So I actually want price to drop down a bit further. It's a little too high right now. The ATR is currently at 14, so we have decent ATR right now. The volatility is there. I want some retracement here for price to come down a little bit, maybe down to the sessions, maybe even down to, I think opening price would be too far. So maybe down to the Asia low right here. The Asia low might be the good sweet spot. And we have the breakout V3 setting up right here as well. So the breakout V3 could push to, yeah, to the sessions right there, 30 points. So if this candle closes red, this will be the breakout V3. And it'll kind of go in confluence with what I was looking for. I was looking for the retracement to come down to this area here, but I don't want to trade against the trend. So I'm not going to take it. I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not going to take it myself personally. So here goes the breakout V3. This would probably line up with the sessions down there. Turn this on. Yeah, so this is probably what's going to happen here. Price will probably retrace down to the sessions, bounce off, and then come back up. Ideally, that's probably what's going to happen there. But it's against the trend, so I'm not going to take that. If anything, I'll look for a V1 variation down here. You know, price comes down and I see the reversal pattern. I'll look for that V1 variation for the swing back to the upside. But this looks like it'll probably, I mean, that looks like that'd be the case. The only target price point right now, so if price continues to drop lower, the two target price points are going to be news price and sessions. So these are going to be the two areas where price is likely to bounce off of, right? Either bounce off there, down further, bounce off there. All right, so the structure up here has been established. This is actually okay, so we have the 1 minute resistance up here. we have the 1 minute support down here. This is the pre-market support though. So what I'm going to be doing here is if we have a new support that comes up around this area here, I'll mark it up. And then we'll have the closer range from where price has been moving. Because this happened pre-market. This happened at 6:29 the minute before market opened. Again, like I said, I typically don't like to have structure marked at pre-market. I mean, it helps sometimes if you don't have anything there yet. But for me personally, I prefer not to. So we have a buy signal here that's currently pending. Price didn't really pull back far enough. I actually wanted to pull back a little bit further because what I'm mainly looking for is a momentum divergence. But the problem with this here is that if we do get a momentum divergence up here, it's going to be a little too close. Because my entry would have to happen right there at most. So I actually want price to come down a little further. It looks like price is now consolidating. So you guys can see it's the same pattern from yesterday and from Monday. We had consolidation down here, price broke up. We had some consolidation up here, price broke below, and then we have some consolidation right here. So we can't really tell here yet because there's not enough movement, but there was consolidation down here. I can't tell if this whole area is consolidation or if this is two different separate areas of consolidation. Because this looks like it might be two areas right here. Or it might look like this might be one big one right here between this area. So this might be the area of consolidation right here. So we had one big one right here, price broke above for the breakout. Then it consolidates again right here down the middle. And then once it consolidates around the middle right here, it's going to break out again to like either direction. So we just got to wait to see how much data can pull out from this area right here. Because if this ends up just consolidating down below, like right here, then this is going to indicate that there's two different levels here of consolidation. There's one right here, and there's one right here. So we just got to determine whether this is one big area of consolidation or if it's two of them. The only way for us to identify that is once we get a new lower low. So if we get a new lower low like this right here, we'll be able to draw multiple structure, right? We'll draw structure there and we'll draw structure down here. And we're like, okay, this is actually an area of consolidation range. But because we don't have that here, this looks like two separate areas of consolidation right now. So just give it some time, guys. The data will kind of, explain itself as it pushes through. And if that becomes the case, then it's fine. It's going to line up with what we're looking for here. So there is a breakout V3 continuation here. Setting up. I'm probably going to hold off on this though. So I'm looking for the divergence here to follow through. Yeah, the candles weak, just like Nick said. What I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to push up a little bit, retrace a little bit, and then come back up so that I can get this push from wherever price is pushing up to the higher high right here. And that's not a breakout V3 because there's no green candle. So it doesn't line up with it either way. Now I'm just looking for the retracement here and correction back up. So I'm looking for price maybe retrace down a little bit. The only downside with this right here is that you guys can see how obvious the consolidation is now, right? So now that we've kind of let price breathe here a little bit, it looks like the consolidation is around this whole area here. This whole big, from this higher high down to this lower low, is the area of consolidation. So what you could expect here is price to probably range within this area, and then eventually price is going to break out above or it's going to break out below. So following this consolidation phase is going to be the breakout. If you guys remember from the previous days, there wasn't really many fake outs. Actually, there was one fake out. The trade that we took yesterday was a bit of a fake out, but that was because volatility was so low. So what I'm doing here is I'm paying attention to the divergence down below. I need the divergence here to switch below or swing below at least, so that we have that confirmed retracement. And then once that retracement is confirmed, I'm going to look for the continuation back up. And also the ATR down here is starting to slow down, like Sam mentioned. Yeah, I agree, Sam. So the ATR right here was at 14.15. Now it's at 13, and it's getting low again back to below 13. Um, Again, we don't want to end up in the position that we were in yesterday. If you guys remembered yesterday, that wasn't a good position to be in because we held that position for about 20 minutes. Price spiked down to the stop loss, and then it came right back up to its TP. Super annoying, but that's why you don't want to get caught in a sideways market. So the only entries that I'm looking here for are probably going to be a momentum divergence because that's going to confirm that divergence is happening. I'm not going to be looking for any high-low scalps or any of those entries that are break of structure because break of structure does not confirm momentum. What confirms momentum is momentum, and that's what we're looking for here. So I'm looking for the opportunity to get in when momentum swings to our direction. And then we also have news over here at 7 o'clock. So it's 6:55 right now. We got about 5 minutes till news. So I'm not going to take anything here. It's high impact news. You guys got to keep that in mind. We've got existing home sales month over month and existing home sales for the month of April. So just keep that in mind. But this is the consolidation zone right here. So you can't really tell right now because of the structure, but realistically, this is the consolidation zone. So let me show you guys right here. This is the consolidation. I'll show you the lower consolidation right here. So same thing that happened on Monday and Tuesday, basically consolidation right here, breakout, consolidation. After this consolidation is going to be a breakout. Breakout's probably going to happen at news price over here at 7 o'clock. So when the news comes out, that's where it's going to break out of the consolidation. But these are the two areas of consolidation here. Consolidation above, consolidation below, breakout. After this is going to be another breakout likely. I'll just clean this up again right here. Again, we're not going to have, one second guys, sorry, I had a cough. All right, so where we don't really have a support level established yet until we have a new lower low. The lower low is probably going to come up soon. So you can see how this price is pushing down right here. If this pushes down below this higher low, there's going to be a lower low there. Once that lower low is established, I can mark up structure to identify the actual, consolidation here. So we got some team profits over here. We got David with a total profit of 180 for the day. Nice work, David. Looks like he might have taken the liquidity pushes over here. So there's 3 liquidity pushes that came up, all full TP right here, depending on which one you guys decided to take. There's a couple entries that came up today so far. So we had 3 liquidity pushes, all full TPs right here. We had the PRB, which came up full TP right there as well. The breakout V3 is still running right now. Still active and running. Come back and take a look at that later. But again, it's probably not a good area for the breakout V3 to come up anyways, because price is still consolidating within this area. So we will continue watching. We do have news over here at 7 o'clock, so I'm not really looking to take anything right now. Being a little careful with my entries at this specific moment. We had a sell signal come up right there. 6:52, or sorry, 6:57. We got 3 minutes till news. The news is forecasted to be positive. So we'll see if that gives that a push to the upside. But there is just nothing here right now. So this was a CB entry if you guys are looking at it from early, or actually, no, take that back. Sorry, it wasn't. The high wasn't a green candle. This was a V1 in the opposite direction. I'm surprised the CB entries haven't came up very often. There's a CB entry right here, but it's against the trend. It's because of the low volatility. So typically those CB entries come up when the volatility is high and price is ranging. But lately, you can see here the ATR again is very, very low. It's below 12. Whenever it goes below 12, you guys want to be careful because below 12 is just going to indicate a sideways market. And that's exactly what's happening here. Sideways market. Sideways market, but not just sideways. It's a consolidating sideways market. So that means price is going sideways, but it's not really pushing very far. I'm okay with a sideways market if price is ranging back and forth, right? That's okay because we could trade within the range. However, if we get caught in the position that we were in yesterday, that's usually not what we're looking for, because you can see if you were to get into any position here, like for example, the breakout B3. So the breakout B3 is running. This thing's been running for almost 20 minutes now, it looks like. The breakout is meant to hit right away, right? It's a breakout. It's called a breakout for a reason. So it's supposed to hit within a few minutes, a few seconds, if that. And that's been currently running for 15 minutes now. A long time to hold on to a breakout entry. It's the same with the scalp yesterday. We held a scalp. It held on for like about 20 minutes. We could have pulled out early, but I ended up holding on to it. Unfortunately, I ended up taking that loss. Same situation with that, right? These scalps and breakout entries are meant to be held for just a few seconds, if not a few minutes. And in situations like this, where the price just keeps going sideways, there's just nothing that you can do about it. You'll be trapped in that position for longer than you want, and it's going to you're going to start to second guess your position, and you're either going to pull out early or you're going to hold on for too long. Yesterday, we held on for too long. We could have pulled out. We were like so close to our TP. I think we were at about 7 points to TP. And I held on to it because I was okay with like the last 3 points. And then it ended up doing a full-on reversal on us. So, it is what it is. But here goes a news candle right here, guys. So there goes a news candle. It's not really too much volatility on it. I was anticipating a bit more due to the the high impact of it. It was actually negative. So they're forecasting it to be positive here, and it was actually negative. So they forecasted it to be 0.5. It's actually negative 1.9. And the existing home sales for April, they were forecasting it to be 4.21. It was actually 4.14. So both negative. And you can see our price is coming down a little bit, but not really. Just a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Drew said that people are waiting for FOMC, which that's most likely the case. They're waiting for the minute to come out later at 11. Which sucks, but it is what it is. So there's nothing going on here, guys. Again, just a waiting game. We'll probably have to wait until the whole session again. The thing that I looked at yesterday is even though we took that loss on the high-low scalp, I looked for the momentum divergence, and the momentum divergence actually played through. So I'm just going to stick to what I'm doing. I'm not going to jump into any other trades here, guys, because if we just stuck to the game plan yesterday, the momentum divergence played through perfectly. So let me just go back to yesterday's market real quick. I just want to show you guys a quick recap of that. I just got to stick to my game plan. If we see other entries here, I'm going to hold off on them. But so here's a trade that we took yesterday around where did we get spiked out at right here, right? So we got spiked out right here. And if we just waited for the momentum divergence, because this was the momentum divergence, we had a buy signal here, price retraced down, and then it broke up right here. We actually would have won that trade for momentum divergence. So I'm going to stick to my game plan. I'm not going to look at anything else really. If I say I'm going to look for momentum divergences for that day, I'm just going to stick to that. I'm not going to look at any high-low scalps or get any FOMO, because I feel like this high-low scalp that we took yesterday wasn't what I was looking for. So it's a little bit of a FOMO move for me. I think someone in the group mentioned that as well once we were in the trade, that I wasn't looking for that trade and that I should just focus on what I was looking for the day. Because if I would have sat out of that high-low scalp, I would have avoided this loss here. And if we would have waited for the momentum divergence, we actually would have gotten the big spike right here that we were looking for. So I'm going to stick to that. You're good, Nick. It looked like a good trade. I mean, realistically, it looked like a good trade. But again, it just wasn't what I was looking for. I was kind of convinced that trade was going to play through because you had a good analysis behind it. I had a good analysis behind it. But again, it just wasn't what I was looking for. So again, today I'm looking for the momentum divergence entries because that's what I see works for this type of market, the type of market that we're currently in right now. The thing is, there's no momentum here, right? So like you'll see a lot of those patterns where like high-low scalps will come up and stuff like that, but those entries just don't have the momentum behind them, right? So I think with this type of market, you just have to be patient and wait for these momentum divergences to come up. They'll come up eventually. It'll be a matter of time until they do. But it's really key to just be patient and wait for those types of entries to come up. Because like I was saying the other day, all the trades that we've lost over the past couple months, and there's only been a couple of trades that we've lost, they've all been FOMO moves. They weren't trades that I was looking for. They kind of just popped up. Like I think the trade that happened last week was a high-low momentum scalp. I never take high-low momentum scalps. The one that I decide to take loses, but every other momentum scalp wins, right? So again, like I've told this to you guys before, find a couple of strategies that you guys like to apply, right? Look at like maybe 2 strategies that you're really good at. Focus on those 2 because you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. But if you keep changing the game up and you're not looking for anything specific, you're either going to get really lucky and have a bunch of wins, or you're going to get really unlucky and you're just going to take the losers that happen during those specific time periods. Because all the strategies have a high win rate. It's just really sticking to the game plan. Yeah. Nick said these are the droids you're looking for, a little meme that he posted. But it's all good. The high-low scalp's a good strategy. It's not one that I'm typically applying. It was hitting for a while. I mean, Nick's been taking like all the high-low scalps and they've been hitting for him. So that's why it was okay for him to take that trade because that's the strategy that he was looking for. But again, I'm going to focus on these momentum divergences. So right now we don't have a buy signal. I'm looking for a buy signal to come up. Once that buy signal comes up, I'm going to look for it to push up a little bit, retrace, and then come back up. Hopefully not at any of these news prices, but it looks like price is still reacting to the news from today. So the news over here at 7 o'clock was negative. You can see a price is finally reacting to it. And it looks like it might be done here. So if it's done reacting to it, it might bounce back up from here and shoot straight back to the upside. Looking at the breakout B3, I'm really glad that I'm not in this position because you can see how long it's been running for. This is a breakout entry that's supposed to hit within a minute or 2. This entry's been running for over 20 minutes now. So stressful position to be in because this thing should have hit a long time ago. So if you guys are in that breakout B3, I mean, maybe I don't want to deter you from holding on to it, but maybe think twice, do a second analysis of it because this strategy is supposed to hit in a minute or 2 to breakout entry. Price never broke out until, it still hasn't broken out. And it's now been running for about 20 minutes. So, do your analysis on that. If you guys are still holding on to it, if you're okay with your profits so far, I would just pull out personally. You don't want to get caught in the sideways movement here. So I'm kind of glad I'm not in anything because it would just stress me out to be in a position holding on to a scalp or a breakout for like more than 20 minutes like it was yesterday. So for me personally, I'm still looking for buys here. The reason why I'm looking for buys is because the overall trend here is still bullish. So if you look over here at the other time frames, the 1 minute's obviously bullish here, 5 minutes bullish, 10 minute is bearish, but it's starting to shift to bullish. 30 minute here is bearish, 1 hour is bearish, and the 4 hour is bullish. So you can see it's a pretty big mix here with regard to the time frames. There's not one trend here. But the thing with the trend here is that it lines up with the 4 hours. So you have basically the lowest time frame with the highest time frame. And then on top of that, we have retail sentiment over here, which is still 74% short. So with that said, for me personally, I would like to take buys here. I don't have to take buys, but I would personally prefer to take a buy here if that becomes the case. Also, what I would like to see here or what I would be okay with is if price spikes down a little bit, bounces off the sessions and then comes up because that will allow for the breakout B3 to hit full TP and then come back up for a correction. But either way, I'm still looking for a buy here for me personally. So I'm looking for the buy signal here to come up. Once the buy signal comes up, I'm going to look for price to push up, look for the momentum divergence to retrace back a little bit, and then climb back up for my entry. Yeah, this market sucks. It just sucks because I was hoping to get at least 2 entries a day. As you guys know, that was my goal every day, to get at least 2 entries a day. And it just doesn't happen. There's like 0 entries a day, maybe 1 entry if we're really lucky. But you guys can see the type of market that we're currently in. So we have a lower low here marked up. It's just not established yet. Once we have a new high here come up, I'm going to go over here to our clean chart and I'm going to mark up the support. Or I guess I can just mark it up now. And then if we need to adjust it later, we can. But all right, so here you guys can see we had the consolidation phase down here. Price broke above. And this whole area here is just a big range. Just a huge range. So once price breaks out of this range, it's going to move to another area of consolidation. So right now, price is just ranging and consolidating within this area. It's a big range right now. Once it breaks out of it, new range. Once it breaks out below, probably back to the old range. All right, so we got price climbing here. I'm looking for a buy signal to come up. It's going to be tough to get that buy signal because, again, the volatility is extremely low right now. Well, it's not extremely low, but it's pretty low. If it goes below 10, below 9, then it's going to be extremely low. But right now, it's kind of like it's in limbo. It's what I would consider neutral. It's not normal, but it's more on the neutral side. So just wait for price to break out of this area. We have a pending buy signal right here. Again, I'm looking for that buy signal to close. Once the buy signal closes, I'll look for price to push above news price here. For me personally, if the entry comes up around this news price, I might be okay with taking the entry because it was a high impact news event, but you can see that it didn't really have much of an effect, right? It dropped down maybe like 20 points. So if I do have an entry here, like a momentum divergence that comes up and for whatever reason, it comes down and touches the news price here, then I'll be okay with it. I'm going to avoid it if it touches the sessions, but the news price over here, I'm okay with. Because price has already passed between these news prices, so I don't think that there are areas of manipulation anymore, not as much as they were before. So we got the buy signal here that's pending. We have about 14 seconds left on this candle. I'm hoping that it closes. If it doesn't close, we're going to have to wait for the next candle. So it's not looking like it's going to. It's rejecting directly off the news price. And there's no buy signal there. So again, we're going to have to wait. Another buy signal here. Let's see if it finally actually gets to push through. Again, the ATR is too low, so not really expecting too much here. Unless the ATR picks up to maybe 12, 13, 14, then maybe it'll hold. But you guys will see it has initial push on the open of the candle, but it has 36 seconds left on it. So it's got a lot of time left. So what I'm seeing here is if this pushes up to 12 ATR, I think this will actually hold and it'll close with that buy signal. But you can see right there, again, it pulls back down. Doesn't have enough power to hold so to confirm the momentum. So I'm looking at the ATR down here. You can see it kind of flickers. It's got about like 5 seconds left on it. Let's see if it actually closes. Looks like it might actually close on this one. Okay, perfect. So we have the buy signal right there. The ATR is still pretty low, but we do have the buy signal here. So what I'm looking for here now is I'm looking for it to either consolidate or retrace back. So maybe push up a little bit, lose its steam, pull down a little bit, consolidate, and climb back up. And then when it climbs back up, that's where I'm going to be looking for my entry. Somewhere down here. Yeah, this right here could be another BV3C. Again, it's not an entry I'm looking for, but thanks, Nick, for mentioning it. So if anybody's looking for that, if this candle closes green, it could be a possible BV3C. Yeah, and the triple confluence just missed right there. Would have been nice if it would have pushed up like that. That would have been one that I would have taken, actually. So if that here, so I don't really look at, we don't see triple confluences too often. So if that would have closed above it, it would have been a decent triple confluence. This right here is a breakout V3, guys, for if anybody's looking to take it. Well, I mean, it's already too late at this point. You'd have to catch it as soon as that candle closed. But this here is the breakout V3 continuation. We had the only thing about this is that we didn't have a reversal confluence. So it's not really one that I would personally want to take. I'll just take that off. I don't want you guys to think that I'm in the position, but that is a breakout V3 continuation pattern. Again, it's not an entry that I was looking for. The only entry that I'm personally looking for myself is a momentum divergence. So if anything, the momentum divergence may align with the breakout V3 continuation. So if this ends up going sideways right here and just goes back and forth, then that's fine because it's probably going to line up with my momentum divergence when it actually plays through. And that's what I'm waiting for here. So I'm okay with it kind of pulling back a little bit here, or even just consolidating sideways, because when it swings back up, that's where I'm going to be looking for my entry. That entry is probably going to line up with the breakout V3 continuation that was running. So I want this candle here to close red. And this is going to, this is going to confirm the divergence over here. So I do want this candle to close red a little bit. And then I'm going to look for the continuation back up. It's probably going to come down and bounce off the pivots. And then, push back up from there. So I do want this candle to close red. I mean, come down even further would be even nicer. Maybe bounce off pivot 4, pivot 3. The thing that I don't want is I don't want a sell signal. So no sell signal, but I'm okay with the retracement. All right, perfect. So this is exactly what I was looking for right here. You guys can see the divergence over here is confirmed. Now we're going to look for the correction back up. Eric said the trend meter is not working. For some reason, it's not working on my main chart, but it's working on the other charts over here, Eric. I don't know what's up with it. It's a trading view issue. It's not a code issue. Let me see if I can put it back on. Yeah, I don't know why it's just not loading on this chart for some reason. But it's working on every other chart. It's been like that since this morning. Nick's been trading since like 4:30. He's had the same issue where he can't get it on there. I'll put in a support ticket with trading view after we're done with this live. And guys, just another reminder, we're having the mentoring session later today at 2 p.m. We haven't had a mentoring session in a while. You guys requested for it yesterday, so we're going to be having it today at 2 p.m. So if you guys want to sit in on that mentoring session, it's open to everybody. I'll answer whatever questions you guys have. If you guys want me to review any strategies, any entries, feel free to pop in. But yeah, today at 2 p.m., our regular scheduled time. All right, we got the sell signal here. It's pending. I'm hoping the sell signal does not close because that's not what we're looking for here. We're looking for price to swing back up. Let's leave this down here for now. I know, right, Drew? 4:30. This guy was up early. Actually, yeah. So Nick said he's up at that time, but he doesn't trade until 6:30. I used to trade pre-market. Pre-market used to be good for a while. So for a while, okay, we got the sell signal here. Sorry, guys. I was hoping that we wouldn't get that sell signal. And unfortunately, we did get the sell signal. So go figure. Martin's asking 1400 Eastern for the recap. It is, let's see. Trying to think. It's going to be 5 o'clock Eastern time, Martin. Sorry, I suck with like military time. But yeah, it's going to be 5 o'clock Eastern time. 1700. Thanks, Daniel. So 1700 Eastern, Martin. Thanks, Daniel, for confirming that. Yeah, it's gonna be at 1700 Eastern time. It's going to be not really a recap. I mean, it could be a recap. It's just a mentoring session. So it's going to be open forum. Like basically we'll hop onto this mentoring session, and then you guys can ask whatever questions you guys want. So whether it be about trading, contract size, Apex, I mean, whatever questions you guys have, business questions, etc. Then this is probably the session to ask, all those questions. And it's open to you guys there in the public as well. So if you guys want to hop in, if you guys want to see examples of specific strategies or specific tools or indicators and stuff like that, anything you're confused about, it's pretty much open to everybody. I usually have them every week, but been busier with other things, so I have them on a request basis. So yeah, it's open to everybody. All right, guys, there's no entries here yet. Price is still going sideways. It's only 7:18. I feel like we've been watching this chart for like, I thought it was 8 o'clock already, because the market's so slow. There's nothing going on here. There's no direction. Price is just, I mean, it's really just ranging back and forth. Here is our clean chart right here. So it looks like the ranging consolidation is just getting tighter, as you guys can see here. So we had the upper range right here. Price came back below, then we have now a lower range. So as you can see, the consolidation here is actually squeezing. I was really hoping today would be more volatile because today was the only day with news, today and tomorrow, but it seems like that's not going to be the case today. Tomorrow there's a lot more news, so I'm expecting more volatility tomorrow, but I was hoping today would be the first day of actual movement in the market, but there hasn't really been too much, as you guys can see. Price is just going sideways here. Daniel said, random question, does anyone in here work in management for big retail companies? Trying to think. I know there was one person in here that was before, but I don't know if they're still in here, Daniel. Yeah, if anybody works management for big retail, you guys can chime in for Daniel there. All right, so what Nick just mentioned here is we might get a triple confluence. The only problem here is the low volatility. ATR is currently at 10. Yeah, it's straight consolidation right here. Is the BB3 still running? Oh God, the BB3 is still running, guys. That's crazy. So the BB3 has been running for almost 40 minutes now. It's a long time for a breakout entry. Almost an hour. That's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. That's way too long to be holding on to a breakout entry, guys. So I'm hoping whoever caught that, if you guys were holding on to it, if you guys already pulled out in profit, because that thing is way too long to be holding on to a breakout entry. All right, so we got price pushing up right here. This might be a possible, like what Nick said, a possible triple confluence. But because of the low volatility, I'm not going to take the entry. Even if the triple confluence does come up, I'm not going to take it. I prefer to just wait for the momentum here because you guys can see like the momentum here. Let me see if there really hasn't been any entries here, but like here's a clear example. Like I know there's no trend here, but you can see there's a buy signal. The volatility here was very low, but eventually once it swung back up right here, it just ended up moving. Like that's where the volatility comes from. So I'm just gonna base all my entries off the momentum divergences for now. So we might get the triple confluence, but I'm going to hold off on it and I'll just wait for, and the ATR right now is super low. Sadie just said 9 ATR. This is what, and I mentioned this earlier this morning. I said, if the ATR drops below 10, like it's below 10.9, it's going to be extremely low. If it stays around like 12, 13, that's going to be neutral. If it stays above 15, that's going to be normal. And if it goes above 20, that's going to be unusually high. So this is unusually low right now. Like you could just look at the ATR and you don't even have to look at the candles. if you look at the ATR and it's only like 9, you'll know that price is just going to go sideways. It's like literally not going to go anywhere. So just keep that in mind, guys. I'm trying to look out for you guys to make sure that you guys don't get caught in bad trades. I think the biggest factor here is the fact that the breakout V3 is still running. Like that trade should have hit, it should have hit TP or stop loss, like 30 minutes ago. But because the market is so slow, there's really no opportunity for it to even hit. I mean, even if it wanted to, it's just not really moving right now. Yeah, so Nick said watching the order flow on the DOM, it shows a lot more orders on the sell side consistently, especially when it pushes up to those high areas. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of these retail traders they're trying to sell off resistance, right? So every time they see these highs here, they try to sell off whenever price gets to those points. But you can see that it's not enough, right? That's how you know that it's retail that's selling right there and not the market makers. Because if there was enough power there behind the sells, it would actually dump, right? So that's how you know that it's retail sellers who are selling at those points. So like one key thing to use when you guys are looking for certain if you're looking to see if it's a market maker or an institution that's trading at a certain level, look at like where the high lows are, where there's a big push. That's basically supply and demand, right? A lot of people like to call it supply and demand. That's literally what it is. I mean, there's no obvious examples here. I don't think there was any obvious examples from yesterday, but if you guys are ever looking at where price is likely to have a strong bounce from to identify supply and demand, just look for a big push after a high low. Typically, it's going to be a lower low or a higher high. Those are going to be the price points that are going to be where those are going to be established. But again, right here, we have another buy signal that's pending. This might be the setup that we're finally looking for. This is the one that I just showed you guys yesterday that we missed out on. But this is exactly what I've been looking for. So we have a buy signal here. I just need it to close. The only problem is that the ATR is so low. So it's having trouble getting to that level where it can actually close and confirm that momentum is actually there. So if this here closes, I'm going to look for momentum divergence to happen here. It might happen around news price, so it's going to be a little tricky. Yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. And also, like Vimal said, and Nick over here, they said that it's getting close to the 4,000 level, which is right there. If you guys are not familiar with these whole numbers, typically this is where a lot of institutions like to trade. They like to trade at whole numbers. So if you guys want to set that up for your levels indicator, you guys can do that as well. It's super simple. You just put 100 there, and then it'll mark up lines at every 100 mark. So you can kind of see where the whole numbers are. Sometimes people like looking at the 500 mark or the 100 mark. Some people like looking at the 50 mark, right? You can see again over here, 50 mark is another whole number. 50s and 100s are typically the whole numbers where I don't know if it's, well, I mean, it doesn't work sometimes. I actually have a strategy that I was working on the whole numbers. I was going to show you guys, but I was only going to show it to a few people. So, if you guys hop on the mentoring session later today, I'll show you guys it. It's actually a really good strategy. It basically uses the momentum divergence and the whole numbers. So we'll do it there. I don't want to do it during this live session because I don't want to confuse people and I don't want to kind of drop a bunch of info on you guys. But I'm always testing new strategies, guys. They're not really new. They're more so just using different types of confluences. So it's similar to what we're already doing here with momentum divergence, but it's working off the whole numbers. So it's a pretty good strategy. I've been testing it. It works good with a 50-50 TP stop loss 1-to-1, or you can even do a 1-to-2. You can do a 50-25. It's been working pretty recently, but I went for pretty far back to like earlier in May. It wasn't really as accurate. So that's why it's not something I move forward with. There's probably another confluence I need to add to it to optimize it so that it works a little bit better. But the bare bones strategy works pretty good. It's been working good for the past couple of weeks. All right, so we got the retracement here. I'm looking for the retracement to happen here. We have news at 7:30, 2 minutes. It's just gas stock and oil stock change. And then after that, hopefully we'll get a momentum divergence. Yeah, definitely Bamal. So exactly what Bamal said. So yeah, again, if you guys sit in on the mentoring session later today, I'll show you that new strategy that I was kind of working on. I think there just needs to be like one tweak to it. There needs to be one thing that needs to be added to it to confirm, to make it better. It just might be the trend. I might just have to add the trend to it. Because right now it's just based off the whole numbers. Let's see. Hawks said Memorial Day weekend, so the entire week might be slow and low ATR. Yeah, and I agree with you too. You guys have noticed for the past, I mean, for basically this whole year, every time it's a holiday week, even if it's not even a big holiday week, like I think Cinco de Mayo happened a couple weeks ago on the 5th, and market was super slow on like the first couple of days, or that week following Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo was like on a Sunday, and the market was just super slow that entire week. Let's see, iPad said, sorry, just for my notes, we didn't take this divergence because news and which divergence are you talking about, iPad? Because I don't see any here. I mean, if I saw it, I would have taken it, but I don't, there's no divergence over here. Well, what's the timestamp, iPad, for the one that you saw? Because there hasn't been any here. All the buy signals have only been up for like a few candles. So there's nothing right here, there's nothing right here, and there's nothing right here, at least not yet. All right, we got the news candle right here. But yeah, if you have a timestamp for that iPad, I can answer your question, but I haven't seen any momentum divergences here. There's nothing that's come up. There's only been like, yeah, there's only been 3 buy signals here that have come up, and there's not enough space in between for them to even have a divergence. Yeah, there's nothing down here. Also nothing right here. iPad said after 10:26. 10:26. What time is that? 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's 10:26. There is no momentum divergence here, iPad. It doesn't happen after momentum. Momentum divergence is it starts with momentum, it retraces down, and then it comes back up. That's the divergence that happens over here. So the divergence hasn't happened yet. That's what we're looking for. Because you need to have a buy signal to establish the initial divergence. You look for the retracement, and then we're looking for the continuation. The continuation hasn't happened yet. That's what we're looking for right now. So once it comes back up, that's what we're going to be looking for. But there hasn't been any entries here yet. Does that make sense, iPad? Maybe you should just sit in on the mentoring session later and I'll explain to you. Because there's no divergence here yet. Like the divergence is this is the initial, like this is where it starts. Then we look for the retracement. And then now if this swings back up, that's going to be the momentum divergence. So that you're on the right track. It's just we haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm looking for it to happen. So that's exactly what I'm looking for here. Let me check the news candles real quick. So the news was pretty much mixed. Yeah, if this here closes as a strong green candle, I'm going to take this as a momentum divergence, guys. So it's got to close as a pretty strong green candle, though. It's not looking like it's going to. It might be on the next one, not this one right here. And I don't even know if we'll get it because the ATR is so low. Yeah, the ATR is so low. So we might not even get it here. It might be like a couple more candles until it does. So it might be like 3 more candles until the divergence swings back up. Yeah, exactly. No FOMO. So I for sure, like the candle would have to be like we would have to know 100% the candle is going to close with a divergence. Like for example, here, in order for this to be a divergence candle, this thing would have to close like way up here because the volatility is not strong enough. All right, we will continue to wait for another opportunity here. I don't think we're going to get a divergence here yet. It's probably going to be another maybe 5-10 minutes until it starts to. So preferably I would like price to actually come down a little further. I'd like it to maybe come down a little lower so that we have more space here to catch the divergence. Yeah, because like Lamal said, the London session is right above it. So I can't let it go too high because if it goes too high, then obviously it's obviously going to be too close. Okay, so I mean, this might be the divergence right here, guys. Depending on how high, let me see. This is as high as I'll go. So if the candle closes green and it closes around this point right here, I will take it. If it doesn't close green and it closes above it, then obviously I'm not going to take it. The candle has to close green, but it can't close past this line right here. So we got 20 seconds left. We got a lot of time still. It can't close past this line right here. It's got to close green, but it can't close past that line. We got 15 seconds left on this candle here. It's not looking like it's going to, so no entry there. Again, I would prefer it to retrace down a little more. I'm glad that it didn't close there because I wanted to retrace down, but I also don't want the sell signal to come up. So I do want it to retrace, but I don't want the sell signal because if the sell signal comes up, it just resets the entire process. So I'm okay with it climbing down, but we don't want that sell signal because if the sell signal comes up, then we have to wait for another buy signal for us, and it just starts the whole process over again, which is not a bad thing. You know, I'd rather be safe than sorry, but again, we're just gonna have to wait. It's just the type of market that we're currently in right now, guys. I know it's frustrating. I mean, if it's frustrating for you, imagine how frustrating it is for me. Because there's just no volatility. The ATR is so low. Let's see. The ATR is at 8 right now. So it's like the market's abnormally slow right now. You know, it's like we talked about earlier. A lot of people are probably just waiting for the FOMC minutes. FOMC minutes come out at 11 today. So a lot of people are just sitting out of the market waiting for those minutes to come out. And then they're going to react to those minutes, of course. Here is our clean chart. So looking at the clean chart over here, you can see that there's not really much going on. We have the range here. So we have the big range. But price is really just consolidating around this area. It's not the same pattern. I mean, I guess the pattern is there, but it's not really clear. So it's not the same. It's not as clear as it was on Monday or as it was on Tuesday, where price consolidated, broke out, consolidated, broke out a little bit, consolidated, broke out. You can kind of see it here. There's consolidation phases right here, right? So price kind of consolidated, broke out below, consolidated, broke out below, consolidated here, pushed back up, consolidation, breakout, consolidation. So it's still breakout consolidation type market structure, but the problem with this here is that it's not as clear. If you guys remembered on Monday, it did something like this. It was consolidating down here. It broke out, consolidated, broke out, consolidated, broke out, consolidated, etc. That's what Monday looked like, right? We had clear consolidation zones. Yesterday was a little messier. So we had the same thing, but it was like consolidation, small breakout, consolidation, small breakout, consolidation. And then it did something like this, right? That was yesterday's market. And then today it's even smaller. So today it's more spread out. There's consolidation here, breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. It's like all over the place. So today's more of a messier market because the volatility is very low. On Monday, there was high volatility, but there was consolidation. Like it would spike and it would slow down, then it would spike and it would slow down. Today is like more of a small spike, slow down for a very long time, and then a small spike again. Because if you zone in, there's like little consolidation areas here, right there, right there, right there, right there, and currently right here. So these are all small different consolidation zones. Consolidation breakout, consolidation breakout, consolidation breakout, consolidation breakout. It seems like the market's getting worse. It was actually pretty decent on Monday with the movement, but today's just really, really slow. All right, so we got price swinging back up here. We never got that sell signal, so we still have opportunity here for the momentum divergence. We just need to wait for this here to confirm. Again, it's kind of just sitting around this area. So I'm okay with it consolidating here a little more because I don't want it to push up too high. If it pushes too high, then I'm going to be screwed because it'll be too close to the sessions above. Right, we have the London high right here. So I'm okay with it kind of just consolidating around this area. If this candle here closes green, we may have the momentum divergence, as you guys can see right here. The divergence is shifting. The candle would have to close green though. It's not looking like it, but it has 30 seconds left on this candle, so it still has a lot of time. You know, at the last second, price could push up and we can get that divergence, but it's not really looking like it right now. We got 20 seconds left. The ATR is currently at 8, so it's very low. See, it's got like 8 seconds left on it. It's not going to close. Not yet. So that candle's closing red. So we need like a really big green candle, guys. Like the candle's got to be pretty strong. It's got to be like up here where my entry point's at in order for it to actually close. So we'll see where this here closes at. Again, if the candle closes pretty strong as a strong green candle, I'll take this as a momentum divergence because this is what I've been looking for. Again, like I said in the beginning, guys, this is what I've been looking for all session. So if it comes up, I'm going to take it. If it doesn't come up, it's fine. I'm going to hold off. I'm sticking to my trading plan. All right, so this candle here is not closing very strong as a green candle, and it's not looking like it again. Yep. Nothing there again. Again, the candle's got to close pretty strong as a green candle. If this sell signal closes, we're pretty much screwed. And I don't think we're going to have enough time to look for another reset of the setup. So yeah, if this here closes red, then we're probably just gonna wrap it up for the day because I don't think we're gonna have anything from now until 8 o'clock. I'll see how this candle here closes. Again, I mean, there's still opportunity here, but if this candle here closes red, we're not gonna have enough time to get another buy signal and then have to reset everything and then look for the retracement and then continuation. All right, Sadie. So Sadie's done for the day. See you back here tomorrow. All right, so the sell signal didn't close. I mean, it's still pending. So this is what I'll do. I'll hang out until the sell signal closes or if the trend shifts. If the trend shifts, then I'm done. If the sell signal closes, then I'm done as well. Because there's not enough time here. It's 7:42. My official cutoff is 8 o'clock. So usually I'm done by 7:40 if I have my entry by then. But if this ends up closing with the sell signal, then I'm going to be done for the day as well. Just no trades today, unfortunately. The reason why I'm saying that is because if this closes with the sell signal, then we're going to have to wait for another buy signal. And you can see over here the whole setup that we were looking for, right? From here up until this point in time is about 20 minutes. So if this hasn't happened in 20 minutes, it's probably not going to happen in the next 10 minutes. So it's kind of just wasting time hanging out here and then getting FOMO into a trade last minute. So we'll see if this here closes. Still hasn't closed. The market doesn't want us to leave yet. So guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat now. I'll answer all of your questions before we get off this live. Otherwise, if we don't have any questions here, I'll be back later again at 2 p.m. and I can answer all of your questions in detail later today. That's another reason why we probably want to cut this out when we can so that we can just come back fresh later, review everything. I'll probably start working on the videos for the momentum divergence and stuff like that later today too, so that we can put that up on the course. But yeah, guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Unfortunately, there was no entries for us. There was no official entries. There were entries that came up. So if you look over here at the liquidity, there was 3 liquidity pushes that came through. There's 1 full TP right there, 1 right there, 1 right there. And then also for the PRV, this was also a full TP right there. I was looking for my momentum divergence. It just never came up today. Again, it has a pending sell signal. The only thing here now that I'm looking at is the fact that the trend here is starting to shift. So if the trend starts to shift, I mean, obviously we're not going to have enough time to take any trades here for a sell or for a buy for the correction. Looking over here at our team profits, we have more profits from Andreas. So Andreas locked in a total profit of 1,360 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. So we got 2 people here who locked in some profits for the day. We got David with a total profit of 180 for the day. And we got Andreas with a total profit of 1,360. If you guys have more profit to post up, feel free to send them in. I know some of you guys here did take the liquidity, so great work to you guys there. Some of you guys did take the PRV, so great work to you guys there. For me personally, I have no trade, so I'm flat for the day. And yeah, the trend here is starting to shift. So I know, Nick, right? Bummer. Sucks. I mean, it does suck when you have to sit on the live session for like, or when I have to like analyze. I think it's just draining because we've been on this live session for like over an hour. I've been analyzing the market for like pretty much every single minute, hoping for the entry to come up. The entry just never came up. So market opened over here at 6:30, unfortunately. Nothing happened after that. So market happened at 6:30. We had this push to the upside right here. There was no opportunity for entries here because price never really retraced back. When it finally retraced back at this point, it just went into straight consolidation for the entire session. So we had the bullish push here. I was hoping for something like this to happen, bullish push, retracement, continuation, because we are a trend following strategy here. And there's just no trend. I mean, price has been consolidating here sideways for, let's see. So price started consolidating from this higher high. So we had the initial push here on the open for the first maybe 10 minutes, pushed up. And then from this higher high up until now, for about 1 hour and 3 minutes, price has just been consolidating sideways. Plus the ATR is super low. Looks like Sadie wanted to join back into the party. It's okay, Sadie. You didn't miss out on anything. But yeah, guys, I think that's about it. So there's no entries here. The sell signal never came up, but the trend here shifted. So unfortunately, this here could not be my momentum divergence. This would have been my entry here that I would have taken. The only problem with this here is that the trend did shift. So unfortunately, this here did not meet my criteria. It's not a momentum divergence that I would personally take myself. You just got to stick to the game plan, guys, even though this was the entry that we were looking for. And it looks like it's going to hit, which is going to be an even bigger bummer, right, Nick? So this is what I was looking for, guys. This is a setup. We had a buy signal here, divergence pushed above. We had a retracement right here, and then we had the switch back up here, right? The only problem here is that the trend here was shifting. So, I mean, technically, if you really wanted to take the entry, you could have, but it just kind of goes against my analysis, because my analysis here required that it wasn't a bullish trend. The trend here shifted. Let's just replay to that entry candle. So the trend shifted just a little bit, but enough for me not to take the trade. And unfortunately, this is what I've been waiting for all day. I look for the buy signal, look for the divergence, retracement, the confirmation right here. You can see divergence shifted back up. And this is literally the entry that we've been waiting for. Unfortunately, I just didn't take it because it did not meet the criteria. And it pushed right through. So it's okay. I mean, I'd rather have my trade here play through and I not take it rather than to take a loss for the day. So today I have no losses, which is completely fine. I'm just flat for the day. but it just sucks because we had to sit here for like an hour and a half and not get an entry. So it's all good, guys. All right. So if you guys want to come back later at 2 p.m., I'll be back for the mentoring session. Otherwise, I'm going to take a little break right now, get some stuff done, and then come back here in a few hours for that mentoring session. So, all right, guys, if you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to post them up in the profit post over here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you guys can't attend the mentoring session later, but you guys have questions that you want me to answer, just private message me the questions on Discord, and then I'll put them on top of the list. So once we start the mentoring session later today, I'll answer those questions first before we go through the open forum. So yeah, and I'll put in the ticket for the trend meter as well. Thanks, Natasha, for remembering that. All right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here in a couple hours for the mentoring session. So, all right, guys.